this would probably be actually, and the fact that we're live is kind of irrelevant, but we're also live on YouTube and Twitter. So we
That's
could even do
awesome.
a show if we wanted. But that's what I need to do. I need to do this. Ask the Spark Sites team anything. Boom. Hang on. AMA. Boom. Get rid of that. Do this here. Boom. And then boom. That way, this way, if someone bops in, in fact, there's people here, and maybe it's us. Let's see. So if you're popping in, this is Restream. We're live, and I can't tell who's on and who's not, but we are the Sparksites team. And hold on, I'm pulling up my other page too. Chat, go ahead. My brother, who's posting? My brother from Facebook. Who's posting that here?
Sammer.
Oh, is that Sammer? Not many people say my brother. That's Sammer. There he is. But yeah, so for the office hours, we're just here. You can chat your questions. Or since it's such a small, intimate group, I'm actually going to post the link that Amber just used into the Spark Sites Owners group. And it's right there. You can see it right here. Boom. That that should be available to the full link is available to you in the Spark Sites group. If you want to come on and chat, let's talk about anything from small business to marketing to how our kids are doing, in Amber's case, how the business is going, and you tell us. And so we just want to talk through it. There's Jessica. Amber, I don't know if you know Jessica. Her husband and I have been trying to sync up. He's apparently at the gym the same time I am, but I never see him there. Even though I see him post photos from this place.
You're going to be in the background of one of them.
Yeah, probably he's going to have a photo of me working out and looking like a nutter. But yeah, for those piping in, Jessica, Amber and I are here to answer any questions you have about any business related, personal development related, small business owner related, marketing related, or headache related item at all. And we'll do our best to tag team and high five. Yeah, there we go. Come on. No, over there.
I'm too close.
Yeah, the tag team. That's too funny. And if you're in the Facebook goals and gratitude group, there's something funky about that. So I'm going to paste that there. Boom. And if we don't hear from anyone other than Sammer and Jessica who are like, what up? That's fine. If you don't have any questions or if you're not wanting to get in. Oh, and for those who do want to know, if you want to actually come on and be a face, click that link and it'll add you to the Restream and we'll just dialogue live and figure out and talk through what you're going through. Yeah. So in the meantime, while we're just making ourselves available, and so today, office hours, we're just trying to make ourselves available to Spark citizens, Spark Sites owners, or people in the Goals and Gratitude group. And a lot of you have had a lot of SEO questions, a lot of website questions. So we're just kind of making ourselves available. But Amber, what's for the public? What's some of the big change that's going on with us internally?
So our gal, Kiana, who you might know at support@sparkmysite.com, is going to be moving on to focus on her acting career. And we're super hyped for her. Definitely expecting a shout out on her first red carpet.
Yes, to us personally.
Yes, absolutely. They were there right before. No, yeah. So we're just excited for her and excited for all of us to move forward in our careers. It's exciting. So
it is exciting. How does that make you feel, honestly?
I'm just so happy for her. And I feel like for a long time, I have really gotten into some career development over the last couple of years. And I'm excited for her to have that too. So yeah, I'm sad to see her go. I do feel sad, but I think it's more of a happy thing than anything. So
yeah, it's been an amicable last week. And I don't know about you, but every 15 minutes, I think of there's another thing that she's been handling for us.
Yeah.
That I got to take on.
Yeah. And just keeps popping in all day, just here and there. So
these meetings, man.
I know. It's been and I have another one that just popped up for maybe on Friday. So,
Which one's that?
For Bloom.
Ah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we can get that on the calendar for them. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
It's
and
been a
Amber,
lot of good comms
yeah,
this
it
week.
has been a lot of the comms. And Amber, you don't know this, but there's a hashtag that floats around the crypto community called "Build It in the Open,"
Mm,
and or "Build It Open." Kind of looks like here. Let me post it below. Kind of looks like this. Build it open. Here, hang on. Boom. It looks like this, and the idea behind it is the spirit of openness in
mhm.
and less of the hype and Instagram perfection and more of like the TikTok raw documentary style. And that's kind of why I asked that question. It's kind of an odd question to ask on a live, but I mean, we know it's coming. Kiana knows it's coming, and we're all
Mhm.
working towards it. But other business owners also deal with turning over client employees, and
Yeah.
quite often it's dramatic and rough.
Yeah, sure.
What was the roughest quit you had to do?
Where I personally quit, I've
Yeah,
only quit one job my whole life, and it
yeah.
was a corporate insurance company that I worked for years ago that just rubbed me the wrong way. And after 2 years, I was like, I am done being a sellout. I am going to go
I'm
back to
done
the
being a
local.
sellout.
Yeah, I think some form of that was in my last email or like my exit interview. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to my local coffee shop and be a barista, and it's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to be fine. So,
Yeah.
and they're always really in the company that I worked for really trying to, retain employees because they're a corporate company. It's expensive for them to bring someone
Yes.
on, and
Yes.
to let somebody go after just like a few months, I'm sure that's really frustrating. So they have a lot of, high turnovers, and yeah, it just wasn't working out anymore, and um they tried to keep me on by bribing me with profit share. They were like, well, your profit share is in a month, so if you leave now, you lose your profit share. And I was like, that actually made me like, I don't.
Like, how much was your profit? I mean, you
A
don't have to
couple
share, but
it Well, I don't feel I will. It was a couple $1,000s, and they always do
a
it like,
year?
yeah, yeah, right before
Really?
Christmas. Yeah, because 'cause they're a big company. Their profit share is one of the reasons people come to work for them, because they look forward
Really?
to this every year. Yeah. I only so I didn't complete my second full year with them, so I only got it once, but as a first year employee, my profit share was like $2,000 as a first year employee, and the longer you're with them, the like more your profit share is. So
That's nutso.
I know, and it was like right before Christmas too, and I was like, no, I am not staying for another month. I
Your
don't care
kids are
about that.
like, "But mom, the
Yeah.
bicycle,"
We could get
or
like 5
whatever.
PlayStations, like,
Yeah,
no, it's not worth it. And so when they tried to bribe me with profit share to like stay, I was just like, mm-mm, this is toxic and bad. I'm out.
That's too
Yeah.
funny,
I've
man.
never really had any other than that, I've only ever worked for small businesses, and I've never
Yeah.
had like bad, you know, it's always just been like, okay, it's my time to move on, or I'm doing something else. Or when I had my kids, it was, I'm going on maternity leave, I'm not coming back,
Yeah.
type of thing. So that was my only experience with like leaving a job and it not being a great situation. So,
Man, I think my worst was my worst from an integrity perspective.
mhm.
Um, just being a young punk, not knowing what I was doing, but like, I gotta follow my dreams or whatever kids say. And I went to work at a Bennigan's. I moved to Sarasota right after high school. Like I was like, I'm done with this town. And like, and I
As you
got
do.
my yeah, as one does. And I drove across the state to live with my mom for the first time since I had been a child. And I went to live with her. I literally joined an acting troupe. I'm not kidding. I
That's
traveled the
amazing.
state and acted with them for this public service show about mental health and physical health and AIDS and all kinds of stuff. It was fun. We were always learning the scripts and it was such an adventure. But I needed work. So I went to work at a Bennigan's,
Mhm.
and like the shift started at like 9 p.m.
Oh, that's rough.
And then like and I was a dishwasher, and the
Mhm.
dishwashing went until 3 a.m.
Ugh.
I
Just
mean, I
6
was
hours of standing and washing
of
dishes.
standing and washing dishes and rinsing stuff, and it was nuts, and I was tired, and there's our dude, Billy Weigel. Billy, how you doing? Let us know if you have any questions. This is Ask Us Anything, office hours, and Billy doesn't need any questions asked. This guy is sharp as a tack. You don't know Billy, but Billy's a real estate investor and a realtor and just a baller, an awesome dad, an awesome husband. He's a good guy. He lives over in Orlando. We've met before. And I love knowing that he's out there doing real estate. So, and he knows this is gratitude. This is from Morning Cup of Gratitude when I do my morning show.
Yes.
But Billy, we're just doing Spark office hours. Ask us anything. If you're building a business, what are you up to? If you have marketing questions, small business questions, we're just making ourselves available. But in the meantime, just hanging because it's office hours. I
Yeah.
forgot to get coffee.
I know.
Mm,
I'm being
I need
responsible
coffee.
and drinking more water, but I had 2 cups of
Oh,
coffee. If I have
mm.
more than that, my body is like, "No, thanks."
Oh, Billy says he has a question. Billy,
Mm,
hit us with the question.
yes.
We're desperately waiting while we wait for
I
Billy's
know.
question. 3 weeks into this, I knew I was not cut out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised I lasted 3 weeks. Night one, I felt like a zombie, and it was so solid in me that I was a morning person that I no called, no showed, and I've never done that. I
Dang.
never do that. Here's Billy. Boom. Let's go. Hang on. Show it. Boom. Billy says, I can't believe how insanely effective Instagram stories are. Also cross posted to Facebook and how people remember them seemingly weeks or months later. So, video really is the best content out there right now. Amber, first, before I dive in, do you have an opinion?
I fully agree that video is the best content out there. If you're gonna market, I think it's just the way that people remember you the best right now. In a world of Instagram stories and TikTok, people want things quickly. They don't want to read an 8-page long blog post about how to get your services or how to do business with you. They want something quick that shows your professionalism and your quality of work. And that's something that they're going to remember. And the fact that, like, if you cross post on other social media platforms like Facebook, then you can reach more and more people depending on, some people prefer Instagram, some people prefer Facebook. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
and I would build on that, and this is great. Jessica asks a great question, and Amber, you and Maya might have talked about Jessica before. Jessica, we will absolutely get to your question. Bear with us real quick. It's a valid question, and I love Billy's question here too because the one thing we've seen. So, just some context.
Hmm.
Today, Amber and I are speaking you from the context of Spark Sites. And y'all know that I also have Spark coaching and training, something I've done for a while. But Amber and I have worked most together for 2 years now. And we've touched a lot of websites, websites that were existing there before Amber came on, websites that we've built together, websites that Amber has pwned. She's our level 10 designer right now, and she loves it. Yay. And she just did another design for Relevant Social, which we're excited about.
Yeah.
Well, we have found, and mind you, and that leads to another point. A lot of social media and marketing managers have come to us and outsourced to us. Spry being one of them. They're a strategy, a branding company. They do merch.
Hmm.
John Sierra, we've done work with him, and none of this has been white label. We do white label with one company, but that's something else. And what we've seen in marketing that you can't get away without other marketing, but you cannot move forward without video. Now,
Yeah.
video, I recommend video, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to do TikTok dances. You could do just animated trust us on this. Canva.com has
Hmm.
templates for video
Yeah.
templates. So if you don't know where to start, open up canva.com and open up a template and just fill in the blanks with your services, the content. Like, what do I put in there, Grant? What do I do? Well, we could talk about content for days. But what people are looking for is several pillars of content. They're trying to triangulate personality, value,
Yeah.
professionalism, vibe check. And they're going, do I just like these people? Because I think buyers now know they can get anything they want. Video is a more rapid means or an additional means for them to get a vibe on you. Yes, on your website, you're going to give them details and write-ups and blog posts. Yes, you're going to do pages that you can do for SEO, but you can't get by without video anymore.
Mm-mm.
Now, and especially in Billy's profession, Billy, and I know you know this, and you already do this, and I will brag on Billy. If you go look at Billy's stories, he murders it. He does fantastic. As a realtor, real estate agency work and sales work and brokering is so personality driven, and Billy knows this.
Mhm.
And Billy and I have talked, Amber. Billy knows very well that it's relationship.
Yeah.
People use video to triangulate or approximate the type of relationship they're going to get. So
Yeah.
100%. And let's just make sure we answered his question. So video really is the best content out there. Yeah. And here's the advantage of video. We also used a tool called Descript. I recommend it. Load your video into Descript. It uses AI to translate it. And now you've got your blog post.
Yeah.
Then you click a button and it changes the format. And now you go from a horizontal YouTube at this dimension to your vertical for TikTok if you framed it right.
Mhm.
So I say absolutely. We're seeing more of this. In fact, Amber can attest. The top questions we get right now
Mhm.
is marketing, SEO, ranking, and basically marketing questions. But that ultimately leads us to going, hey, go do video. Now
Yeah.
you mentioned
Put yourself
stories
out there.
though, and that's reels. Stories are also a little different. And we have discovered that the highest visited content on our website is from a secret plugin called Google Stories, which built a plugin for WordPress. And it's just like Instagram Stories on
Mhm.
desktop. And if you provide value added content that's relevant relative to the website content, we last month, I'll tell you, last month we got 2,000 impressions. And out of that, I think we got 40 hits, clicks
Yeah.
to our website for website work just from our Google stories. It's a little different than video. It's a little different than Instagram stories, but it's absolutely there. So thank you, Billy, for the question. Then he goes on to say, I specifically find aspects of the homes I show that are funny, weird, gross, not really me marketing myself. True, but your personality comes through. And with your personality comes through, even with this type of content, when your personality comes through, you are marketing yourself because marketing is not telling people you're the best option.
Mhm.
Marketing is defeating the enemy called obscurity. And now they can just make an informed decision if you guys are a good dating match,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Because
they're getting into a relationship with you. So they wanna know how that's gonna go without
yeah,
even having to talk to you. And
yeah,
and
absolutely.
video is such a great way because it seems like you're talking with them, but you're not. They don't
Yeah.
actually have to do anything to interact with you other than watch.
Mhm.
So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And food for thought, again, knowing the difference between stories and reels.
Yeah.
Reels right now, Instagram has stated in more than one occasion, it is becoming a video first platform,
Yeah.
which means in the feed, you've already seen them right in the middle feed, the normal feed, they've started to inject reels. So
Yep.
if you do a reel, I guarantee this, if you do the same video and post it on stories or you post it on reels, the reels will get so much more impressions
Mhm.
and not everyone has to engage with every impression. It's just a matter
True.
of defeating the enemy called obscurity and them
Yeah.
knowing what's unique about you. Now, we have with Spark Sites a little bit of a feminine touch, but when I get into Spark coaching and training, it's a little more masculine. And you can see this color right here, this color that's in our logo. We've added that because that's part of our target towards the feminine. But
Mhm.
I do the video, so they're kind of going, well, it's kind of an effeminate brand, but I get a little bit of grant, and is that balanced? Because I
Yeah.
do some sales and strategy for clients. And some people are going, that's not my vibe. Some men are like, oh, that's not my vibe. Some females are like, I'd rather have an even more feminine touch. That's fine.
Yeah.
And so it's not a matter of saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. It's a matter of saying, hey, here I am. This is me. Are we a match? That's
Yeah.
marketing. And so when you do this sort of content, you are. But also keep in mind, if you're going to post on stories, take the extra step to do the reel.
Make a
And
reel
that was
first, and then the story is you announcing your
Facebook Reels.
reel. Yeah.
Oh, my Facebook Reels gets more engagement. So great question, Billy. I appreciate it. Thank you for throwing us a bone there. Let's go to our awesome gal, Jessica. She starts with, I'm an emotion code practitioner. An emotion code is, Amber, it's a brand of emotional healing, as she goes on to say. It's an energy healing modality. She does not need to be live on the phone or in person with a client to do this work.
Mm,
That's interesting. That is interesting. I would
that
have
is
assumed
interesting.
otherwise, obviously.
Same. Yeah.
I am seeking to gain what I call email clients. Okay, yeah, people on your email list, definitely. Where I would do the therapy session, then email them the results. I'm not sure how to market this. So this leads to a few interesting questions. Amber, what's your first thought?
I just noticed the last sentence telling people I don't want to meet with them. Right. You don't want to market it by saying,
Bye, BT Dubs.
yes. I mean, I think that if I were to try to market something like that where I'm actively trying not to meet with someone, it would be from the standpoint that, what benefits you, what works for you, what fits into, like, you don't have to fit them into a schedule necessarily
Yeah,
if you don't have to actually meet with them face to face to do the session. So
yeah.
that's super interesting.
I'm not sure how to market this. Okay, so this is what I would say. And Jessica, you're getting into something that I've been meaning to talk to you about for the length of time that we've known each other. But I'm starting to advise more and more of my clients. And you will notice over the coming months, this quarter specifically, Spark is going to be rolling out a similar methodology. In fact, the theme of our quarter, do you remember what the theme of the quarter is, Amber? In the alignment. That face. It's funnel fourth
Oh,
quarter.
that's right. I should remember that because the alliteration.
That's
This
right.
week
I
has
always
been
I
nuts.
always do an alliteration. It's funnel it's funnel fourth. And so Jessica, I think a funnel approach is best
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
you. Why? Here's why. People's attention spans are so low that for you to explain the fact that you can do a trauma healing without them present, and
Mhm.
I assume there's several reasons you want to do this, and you need to be clear on these for what I'm about to say. As an emotion code practitioner, I assume you and I have talked. I assume there's a few things going on here. Number one, you don't need their toxic energy on you while you're doing energy work. This is the biggest risk of energy work or
Mhm.
psychotherapy or any one of the modalities that get into people's trauma, is that you risk being exposed to too much of this trauma and therefore losing focus on the healing work.
Mm.
That's probably a major one. But the other one too is people are already in their way. They don't need to be in your way. And then beyond that, I'm not really sure what emotion code does and what you're delivering to them. Maybe it's a guided meditation. Maybe it's a practice or a homework or a guidance from an energetic place.
Mm.
That could be awesome. Yes, I agree with you. You probably want that pretty pure. Let's scroll down. No, it's more to fit people into my already busy schedule. Okay, yeah. So maybe you're just being efficient with your time. I hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, and honestly, this is something we should probably think about doing. And I was doing. I'll parallel this. I was doing this thing called wingman coaching for a short while, Jessica. People didn't know how to pitch their own business. And we would have an initial kickoff call, kind of like this. And then I'd say, I'll take this away. I'll work through your pitch and then I'll put your pitch on video. And it will be kind of like a course where I'll send it to you. You get a Google Drive folder. It'll have several ways that I pitch you your elevator speech, but then your lunch and learn speech, and then your full blown, hi, this is who I am and this is how I do it. And I did all this by video. And so in your case, what I would say is I would do a funnel approach. I would come up with a freemium 1-page PDF that you build in Canva, or a micro training on always wanting to know what the emotion code is, or the 7 emotional trauma things that you didn't know were nagging at you, or something,
Mm.
that some hook that was awesome, that was almost undeniable for someone dealing with this. And whether it was a 5 to 10 minute overview video of you just talking, we're talking about video, and or right next to it, a PDF download that's maybe a homework or maybe a definition of terms on what is emotion code or what are the top 7 issues causing trauma in parent-child relationships or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Get their email address and give them that freemium. And that's stage one of the funnel. The hope is that you get a video somewhere in this, whether through the email drip or on this at the end of this video on this landing page where they put in their email, they click submit, and then it refreshes. And there's the video. And at the end, you say, listen, if you'd like your own personal emotional code trauma training, here it is. And give the pitch, give the hook, and get them into your funnel that way. It's to me, it's the best way to do it. And you do have a busy schedule, Amber. You should check out what this girl does on farms. Like she
Amazing.
and her husband like up and changed their life, moved to Denver, moved to Colorado, bought Colorado farmland, raising their kids sustainably. She just got horned by a cow last week.
Oh,
She loves animals. And Jessica, Amber just readopted Penny. It was
Penny. Yeah.
Penny. What's her breed?
She is an 80-pound bloodhound. She's a big girl. Big girl.
She's a big
She's a
girl.
horse. She's a horse.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I would start with a funnel approach that does freemium that gets email. And I would, in your already busy time, let's say that you have coaching slots, but they're not full yet. Instead of doing a coaching and recording it and sending it, you probably need to do a ton of talking head video content. A, so that you get your tone. B, so you hone your message, and literally post it on Facebook and boost it. Post it on Instagram and boost it. Post it and say, get your custom report and talk through the process. How you do it for them, customized asynchronously, I don't know. But that has to be a clear, maybe that's its own PDF. How does remote trauma coaching work?
Mm.
And your thing, so I guess I would answer in broad strokes of this. A funnel approach is best, especially if you're doing stuff asynchronously. And I would even consider that, hear me on this, a productized business. That's kind of one aspect of we're trying to balance out Spark sites so that it's percentage wise, less design, more product. And in order to do that, the way they approach your company can't be like you. I wouldn't recommend you go to Lakeland Business Women's Leaders or NABO, National Association of Women's Business Owners, and go network and shake hands. They're going to expect that same level of service. So how people come to your company really determines what they expect in the ongoing relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So a stellar site, it could be a one-page website and be stellar. A really clear freemium call to action. And if you already have one and it's not working, you need a new one. You need to experiment because that part of the funnel is broken. So you need to iterate quickly and then share that content. For example, we're rolling out one soon called the SEO checklist. And we need to get faster because maybe people don't care about the SEO checklist and they want something else. And we just need to experiment with that until we start getting those emails. Once we get these emails, then we fix the email drip. And that way you're productizing your service a little bit. She said, I like the suggestion of doing videos and reels. And she said, we need to catch up because I did not buy farmland in Colorado. I stand corrected.
Somebody did.
It's a great story in my head about your life. We do. Well, let's do a double date or something. We'll all hang out. A Facebook user said, well, first off, real quick, Billy caps off his thoughts. I think it's super effective because it's similar to my personality. Yes. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not asking people to call or text me for services, if that makes sense. Yes, you're not being salesy.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not
I think
making
he's
these
saying it seems like organic videos because it is. It's organic. It's you showing something funny in a listing. That's not staged. And I think
Mm-mm.
people more and more, like you said earlier, they don't want staged content. They want the nitty-gritty. Give them
Yeah.
something real to look at. Be real
Yeah.
in your reels.
Get real in your reels. Well, and this is also, I people complain about technology. I love it because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a mirror back to us as a feedback loop of what we really like. What people discovered, like Instagram is great, but I don't know if y'all know this. Maybe Amber, you do. The blowback of the Instagram perfection. This photo is such a good photo, and look at these toned, tanned buns as someone stands on a hill, and for
Mm-hmm.
some reason in a bikini overlooking Lake Tahoe. Who knows
Yeah.
why? Well, because we get so hooked into that. But
Yeah.
the blowback of TikTok was this rejection of perfection.
Mhm.
It was more documentarian style, and that was a little too raw. And somewhere in the middle is these funny videos of you just being you, but as your brand. And what we're realizing is there's a lot of that and growing, and it will only grow, continue to grow. But like the pandemic revealed who was ready to build their business on the web with DoorDash. I talked to a lot of restaurants during the pandemic for websites,
Mhm.
and they were struggling, man. They were
Yeah.
struggling. And they wouldn't roll onto the web or onto the website. They wouldn't do online orders. And a lot of those companies floundered, if not failed. We're seeing the same thing with video. People out there are saying there's a mega shift going on. People are saying, I want to know who I like, who makes me laugh, who makes me feel comfortable, maybe who
Mhm.
takes me seriously and doesn't laugh. I'm looking for people like me to do business with.
Yeah.
And so video just is the easiest way to do this.
Mhm.
Hands down. I mean, I don't think it would take a long time for there to be a better medium for you to touch a lot of people with your personality without a hard salesy call to action, which no one wants to be anyway. So
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Jessica making fun of me quite a bit. And thank you for the suggestions. And then other Facebook user, and forgive me, I don't see who this is.
I can't
Uh,
find it.
this is also Sammer. This is also
Oh,
Sammer.
nice. Cool.
I love this question, Sammer. If you're still watching, I pray you are, sir. Best time to start holiday sales, Black Friday sales. Start now, wait until mid-November. Amber, what is the answer?
Now. Because people are already in their holiday brain. Like, you don't realize it because it
Yes.
seems early and Halloween hasn't quite hit yet.
Yeah.
But really, there's not that much more time until the
Mm-mm.
holidays are approaching. You should be
Mm-mm.
thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about this, if you will. And we sent messages out to all the clients
Mhm.
July. It was July.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to be annoying. We sent a few messages out, and we do every year. It's on the calendar, and it's not automated, but it should be.
Yeah.
Um, but we have it on the calendar in July, and here's why. Let's reverse engineer. 1 week out, people have stopped thinking about anything other than what am I going to do with family for holidays? What day do I get off that week? And then maybe what are the deep discount stores I'm going to hit? They've already done
Mhm.
most of their shopping in their brain, if not actually on Amazon now.
Yeah.
Number two, so that's 1 week out. 2 weeks out, they think they still have time, right? But then you're competing with all the other lazy business owners who didn't get started till 2 weeks out. Two
Mhm.
weeks out puts you roughly the first week of November. Think about that.
Yeah.
Now, then you got to back up and say, okay, well, let's just say I'm going to start 2 weeks out from Black Friday, right? And let me come up with my discounts, my coupon code. So, Sammer, we've got your website on WooCommerce. You come up with a
Mhm.
special Black Friday discount for the kanafa or whatever the scarf is. Forgive me, I
Mhm.
forget how to pronounce it, sir. But let's say discounts and it's green and red, right? Because it's great. And those green and red, I believe, are also in the Palestinian flag, and it's great. So you get a little discount and no problem. Well, you have to think of that discount play. How long is it going to run? I know how busy you are with your main job. So you're going to take about a week to get your head around that coupon code and then get that information to my team and then my team to get that in queue. Most business owners are in the same situation.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about it. So last minute they'll do this 15% off of what? I don't know, everything. It's not tactical.
Yeah.
So two
It's
weeks
not thought
out,
out.
it's not thought out. So
Yeah.
you could come up with like the 12 days of Christmas as a discount coupon play
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
say coupon, discount, Team Kanafa. No, that Team Kanafa is like the coffee or the food or something like that. I'm saying that wrong. It's whatever the scarf is called. You gave me one. I have one. But let's just say the 12 days of Christmas and you say limited time, I'm giving away X, Y, and Z free the 12 days of Christmas like this.
Mhm.
Like that's creative. That's fun. You gotta get your inventory ready. You got to get
Mhm.
your coupon codes ready. And then we know how busy people are in general, not even around the holidays. You're going to have to pierce the veil of their minds through Black Friday, through Small Business Saturday, through Cyber Monday, and through Giving Tuesday to get to December 1st, and for them to know Palestinian Hustle's doing the 12 days of Christmas. Day one, they're giving away a scarf. Day two, they're giving away 2 onesies. Day, and so on. Day three, they're giving away 3 golden hens, and it's just going to be nuts. and his special olive oil on day 12, and it's going to be nuts. And meanwhile, you really grow your group. That's super fun, but they have to know that going in. So hear me on this. The numbers for marketing are this: people ignore 2/3 of every ad they see. They don't even notice it. They don't see it and push it out of their mind. They don't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
2/3. So they
Yeah.
only notice 1/3 of the ads they see. And that number is getting worse every year.
Yeah.
On top of that, they have to see your overt sales call to action 9 times before they take action. Quick math, Amber, quick math. How many ads do you have to put out?
9.
9 times 3.
Yeah.
27.
27?
27.
Dang.
They need to see your exposure, whether through stories, reels, Instagram posts. Now, and 27 sounds like a lot, but
Yeah.
if you do 3 stories, 3 reels, 3 posts, that's 9. That also duplicates over on Facebook to the face. So you might get the same exposure to that audience. And
Mm-hmm.
then in Facebook, you boost those same 3 ads. You actually have the exposure you need in terms of repetition and piercing the busyness veil so that they even know you're doing anything.
Yeah.
That, like, the rule of thumb is just when you think you're getting spammy is just the beginning of them noticing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about time, you have got to get started today. I've got a busy life. I've got kids. I hear it. Quit blaming the world on your kids. Quit blaming the world on your job. This isn't to Sam necessarily. This is to the world.
Yeah.
Quit blaming and get into gear. This is the time of year.
Yeah.
This is whether it's Black Friday, November, or whether it's Christmas. Personally, me and Marissa don't do any Black Friday. We don't do it.
Yeah.
We don't do it for Spark sites. We don't do it for any Spark entities because for us, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays of the year. It's when we all slow down.
Yeah.
So our energies will be focused on December and the New Year. The New Year is also one of my favorite holidays because everyone's getting into a refresh mindset.
Yeah.
So great question. I actually think the real time to start is in July, and the next best time to start is now. Even for December, in all honesty, just based on time. So if you need help with that, Sammer, obviously you work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you have the time during the workday to get together, I'll avail myself and we can do some planning. But and maybe Amber, maybe we need to hold a marketing specific work day where all the
Yeah.
clients get together and we actually work on marketing. That might be
Fantastic.
fun. Great question. And here's the other side. I'm creating a lot of urgency, but
Sure.
when's the best time to plant an avocado tree? 4 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. And if you have to miss Black Friday just because you're busy, well, let's push into December. And if that's a sacred time for you, let's push into the new year. We have to solve, and I'm saying Spark Sites, State of the Spark, Spark Bookkeeping and Billing Solutions, your own companies. We have to solve the marketing question. We have to face that head on.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Amber and I are able to tackle some of this ourselves right now. As we transition Kiana out of the business, our time's a little strapped, but we still have to prioritize the marketing. So great question. That's a good question. Anyone else? Other questions? Marketing trends. What are the marketing trends? What are you seeing? Or have you seen any marketing trends for as we get towards the holidays, Amber? Other than politics season? Jeez.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, actually. I'm trying to.
I mean, video, obviously. And Sammer,
Sure.
you've been doing a lot of video, I've noticed. And I appreciate that. Like your hair, you'll be coming out of the gym or from pickleball or something. Your hair's like fuzzy, and you'll be doing a thing, but it catches my eye, and I think that's huge. And you do a lot of community posts, which is
That's
great.
awesome.
I'd like to dial in your funnel a bit tighter. Like, what's going on with the funnel? Because I know you're doing a lot of the posting and a lot of that, but and I know that, Amber, you may or may not know we have found, and I've resisted it for years now, but literally he shared with me several posts where Facebook came out and admitted that they have been profiling specifically Palestinian American and Palestinian businesses. And I'm not going to get crazy political because I don't mean to get political, but there is a bias to some of the ads. So we do need to think about your funnel and
Yeah,
how you can own your marketing funnel and it not depend on a platform like that. And I think there's other things we could do,
sure.
to talk through that. So I'd love to meet up. And then Jessica, I did see you. Yes, let's get together. Let's double date and let's hear about how you didn't buy land in Colorado. Why did I think that? I have no idea why I thought that.
I'm just can't wait until you realize like who actually did that because someone told you that. Someone bought a farm in
I mean, I
Colorado.
thought they sold out of their life here and
That's
picked up
amazing.
and moved.
That's my dream is to just take my family in an RV and just be remote. And
How old would the kids have to be? We could do that
I would
now.
do it now. I think my kids are at the best ages. They're not in high school yet. Got one in elementary, one in middle school. I think we could do it now and it would be really cool, honestly.
I think you should. I
Yep.
mean, we would make it work with the business. That's totally doable. That's why
Yeah.
we built the business the way we built it. So
Yeah.
I think you should do it. And I think
We've
it'd make
talked
for
about
great
it.
content.
We've talked
Really?
about it because Sean wants to go to nursing school. I think he's officially on the nursing school train. And he was like, man, travel nurses. And I'm like, wait, what if you were a travel nurse, but we went with you? Like we have an RV set
Oh yeah.
up and like we just go around, and we choose when we want to work and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And it's just more and more we want to prioritize our family and the time is going to get away from us.
Oh yeah.
Our son
And
is
those will be forever moments with your kids.
yeah, Cole's about to be 13. So
He will
we don't
remember that forever. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm sure at first he would totally hate us for uprooting his life. But can you imagine traveling the country and just seeing cool stuff
I
for a few
remember
years?
one summer, my grandmother who just passed and my grandfather had a Winnebago, a classic
Mhm.
Winnebago.
That's awesome.
Took us on a road trip to Minnesota. It was like a 2.5 week trip. We drove to Minnesota. As a kid, it was the adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah.
My grandparents were like, oh, my grandparents, but these were the ones taking us, and we ended up fishing on the Great Lakes in Minnesota. We went to Dinosaur Land, some goofy roadside attraction. On the way back, we stopped through Alabama, I think it was, at a place
Mhm.
called Lambert's where they throw rolls at you. And it was
Yeah.
a super famous kind of truck stop, but then it turned to like a family, like
Yep.
highway restaurant experience. And I remember that so affectionately
Yep.
because I attribute my wanderlust to that trip. And then another trip, my grandparents took us to the Badlands um, of South Dakota, I think it was. That might have been the same trip. I don't recall entirely, but it was like, wow, my grandparents were the ones who really
Yeah.
uh, took me places and got that in my blood. And
Yeah.
I encourage it, man.
I think so. I think kids especially, they just get caught up in this same routine of doing the same thing and being around the same kids their whole life and just growing up with them. Like, let's shake it up a bit,
Yeah.
Let's see what else is out there so you can realize how big the world is. And that's a
Yes.
really powerful thing. So
Yeah.
that's the
And
dream.
make them uncomfortable, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You need to be exposed to different things, different
Yeah.
places, different people. I think it would
What
be
was the
awesome.
most formative, earliest travel? And if you're jumping in, by all means, post your questions. Spark Sites, we're here to just answer your questions about anything. We've gotten a lot of marketing questions. We should talk more and more about funnels, but we've already talked about that a little bit. But in the two situations we were asked about kind of gets a little more nuanced. So we're just burning time making ourselves available. It's just coffee talk right now.
Yeah.
What was the earliest formative travel experience you had as a kid?
So my mom's family is from Oklahoma, which
Okay.
there's nothing in Oklahoma. But we took a lot of trips there as kids, and I specifically remember one that we took. I was probably 5, and my mom's best friend came with her and brought her daughters, and my mom brought myself and my sister, and it was just one big girls trip, and it was the most fun. We
Wow.
didn't do anything crazy, like, we went to some public pools and, um, we went to a fish hatchery and, like, swam in some swimming holes, like, random weird things,
That's
um,
funny.
but I just remember thinking, like, "This is so much fun that we get to just do it with all the girls," like,
Yeah.
girls trip thing,
Yeah.
and so then, like, the older I got, when I got to high school and after I graduated, I was, like, super pumped to plan stuff like that, like, we're gonna go on fun girls trips, and to this day, I love a girls trip. I
Yeah,
do.
man. You and Marissa should do a girls trip.
Yeah, I try to do it once a year with, like, my friends from college. We try to get together, and it's normally us going to Virginia because I'm always homesick for fall. So it
Yes.
generally always happens this time of year. We most of the time are in Virginia, but it's just being with your friends, being with your people, and it was like I guess I never realized that you could take a trip with friends. Like, it doesn't have to just be your family. Like, cool.
Yeah, like people I actually like. Yeah.
Yeah, the people I choose to be around.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
funny, man. What other trends are we seeing in small business? The biggest one, what about I was going to ask about employment. That might still be political and touchy for people.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if we're going to touch on that. What other trends are we seeing in business? I am noticing this. What was your thought? Did you have a thought?
I was just thinking SEO, just it just keeps popping up, and I think the fact that we're working on, our little funnel for SEO and our stuff for that, it's just
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, that's always gonna be something that people ask us about. It's always gonna be a part of our world.
Yeah. Yeah. And, all the video in the world doesn't necessarily get you ranked.
Right.
That's a tough thing. Video, it falls into that category. I mean, they're both in the category considered organic,
Mhm.
not organic ranking, organic traffic.
Mhm.
Um, because you're not paying for it, basically. You didn't pay for the
Yeah.
ads. As soon as you boost something, that's considered paid traffic. But I have never, and I'm telling you, I told this story before. This goes back to 2005, 6, 2006, when we paid an ex-Googler to show us how. You've heard the story a dozen times. We paid an ex-Googler to show us how to rank on Google, and that he was doing consultation.
Mhm.
It was 10K for the weekend, and we went through point by point, and now we use the plugin that goes through the same points. And why do you think it is most of our clients don't take us up on the challenge? We should do almost like an eat the 10-pound steak challenge, you know? We should like do the SEO baseline challenge. Why do you think most clients don't take us up on doing that themselves?
I think it's overwhelming to them, and it sounds very technical and very difficult. I think they kind of psych themselves out just by like the jargon and the language around SEO, because honestly,
Mm,
it that is the worst part about. I mean, think of the SEO myths that we put together. Like, there's so much out there that tells you conflicting things,
yeah.
and so it's like it's almost like this mistrust is already built into them that, like, this isn't going to work,
Mm,
because they've heard maybe different approaches and whatever. But yeah, I think it's just daunting, especially with the language. It sounds very technical.
hmm. I wonder what we could do with that. Maybe for the next after hours while we have downtime, because these after hours take time to get momentum, to get people to visit, to get people to watch, for them to get used to it. It's kind of like its own podcast, but just
Yeah.
for our clients. And I hope we've enjoyed the time together. But I
Yeah.
think what we could do is we could also pick a topic that we prep for.
Yeah.
And like we could talk about SEO. And in all honesty, if we have a good run, even with questions about SEO, um, we could actually then capture that and add it to our course
Yeah.
just as an extra interview or whatever. But I think you're right. I think it sounds daunting. Do you think this is a question, and this is a convicting question? And those who just jumped in, we had a few new people just jump in. I'm watching the numbers. They go down to 2, up to 4. They got up to 5. Question: do you think people don't want to write about their topic because they don't actually know about it?
In some cases, yes. I think it kind of points out to people the gaps, and then it's like, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed.
I do. I think a lot of small business owners figured out
Hmm.
how to sell some services
Yeah.
and figured out the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, and figured
Hmm.
out like landscaping. I figured out that if I can mow a lawn and sell a lawn, that's what I need to know. But
Hmm.
that's not what people are Googling. Right? Like they're
Yeah.
Googling like how to deal with brown spots in my yard and how to
Yeah.
edge properly. And is grass actually good for my yard, or should I have, I don't know, permaculture?
Yeah.
What to do with ants and all kinds of other questions. And most small business owners are like, "Could I like mow your lawn?" And and so I think one thing I've been wondering a lot as we've done a lot of blogging for people, as you've
Hmm.
done a lot of
Yeah.
writing of content, I find that they, unless put under a microscope, they couldn't talk about it. There's
Yeah.
few exceptions. I would say Wyatt Brower uh, of Anglin Brothers. I would say
Okay.
Wyatt Brower of Anglin Brothers. Actually, oh,
I love that we got an explanation. Like we figured this
my
out.
mystery is solved.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, so it was a 6-month working vacation. You were following my social
Amazing.
media and probably thought I bought a farm because I made friends with a family who had a farm through our new homeschool group.
I literally
Oh
started
my,
praying for farm friends. Same, same.
when we
Like,
got to Fort Collins and my prayers were
that's incredible. I started praying for farm friends.
that
That's
is incredible. And that's
yeah.
an adventure. I mean, and this speaks to Amber, your idea. Like, you can take your kids on a gap quarter or a
Yeah.
gap 6 months. If your husband's doing travel nursing, um, yeah, I mean, my dad did travel nursing for years before he found a
Mhm.
permanent contract in San Diego, and he loved it. And I think your family would significantly benefit. This was that we did a year long workcation out in Dominican Republic, and it was
Yeah.
life changing. It was set the course for me and Marissa's marriage.
Yeah.
So I would encourage it. Jessica, thank you so much for clarifying
I'm
the
so
things
glad
I
we got
make
that
up about my
clarity.
people. I am everyone's best wingman because I make shit up about them. I'm
You're
like,
like,
I'm like,
you're,
Sammer is the number one import export professional for Palestine, hands
yeah.
down. No,
Yes.
he's got an e-commerce website for scarves and great t-shirt designs. But
Yes.
what?
Yes.
Jessica started the largest and best dairy farm in all of Fort Collins. She's like, no,
That's not me. I did not
that's
do
actually
that.
not what happened, bro.
Well, listen, you prayed for farm friends and you found them,
Yeah.
so that's all that matters. Farm
Yeah,
friends are
man.
important. Yeah.
And this is a trend I'm seeing in general. I've noticed this in real estate. I've noticed this in quality of life. The generation millennials and younger are looking for more community.
Yes.
And it just
Mhm.
full stop, right? And as small business owners, as entrepreneurs, we no longer want some of the stodgier community we're given.
Yeah.
And at first it was obvious Chamber of Commerce is stodgy. Well, that's obvious, but other networking groups have kind of grown stale as well. And so we're looking for more organic relationships, praying for a community of sustainable living. And what's funny is me and Marissa moved back here with that same vision, and we absolutely could not find it. We
Yeah.
tried to create it, we couldn't create it. I mean, we
Yeah.
started. Do you remember that? Were you in our circle when we started the community garden on our property?
No, I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
There were regulars from Black and Brew who came in, Sarah and Rose, and they were a fantastic tag team. They both worked at Publix at the time. I think Sarah has moved on, if I'm saying her name right. And Savannah, I'm saying her name was Savannah, I think
Mm,
actually. And we had a bunch of raised beds, and we had this vision, but we put the materials in. We did a build out day,
yeah.
but they wouldn't come out. They wouldn't maintain it. But it was a, I think it was a noble effort. We want this community too. I want to. Oh, free sex. Did you see this chat?
Yes.
No one click this trash.
Free girl
Spam is
stuff.
everywhere. Free girls again. Oh my God, someone's
Oh,
gonna
wow.
bombard us. Um,
That's
Spam
good.
is everywhere. But we're looking for community, and
Yeah.
I applaud you for jumping and making a plan as you went, because
Yeah.
I think more people need to do that. But I will also now tie this into, because that's what I do. I'll also tie that into your business. The best thing about Jessica says she would love for us to talk about SEO.
Yeah.
And okay, so we're gonna do. Let's put a pin in that, Amber. Let's
Yeah.
do our next office hours about that. Let's absolutely commit to do that. Because I
Jessica,
think
you better be there.
you
Yeah.
called out. You better
Yes.
be there.
I'm gonna find you.
um, but when you think about building a business, I do encourage one to think about building a community.
Yeah.
And and we saw this a lot in crypto, in all honesty, but crypto kind of went stale fast for a lot of people. And I get it, like it was just
Mhm.
overwhelming. But we have Discord community. I've got the Discord. Jessica, hang on. So, let me turn that volume down. There we go. I'm trying to get to this comment so I can cut off this dude's comments about porn. Uh, we'll get to that later. Um, but I do think we need to think about building community when we think about building our small businesses. And we need to ask ourselves, do I like the type of people that this business I think I want to do? Do I like the
Mhm.
type of people it attracts? I mean, we've been in a long story arc to change the brand of Spark Sites,
Yeah.
because I can put up with a bunch of A type of people, but awesome people like Amber don't want to put up with that. Marissa
Mhm.
did not want to put up with that.
Yeah.
And long story short, I can't delegate something that other people don't want to mess with.
Mhm.
And why not make sure that you're curating a kind, beautiful community? And so this is why you see a lot of community groups pop up in Facebook and in Discord. And why, honestly, Amber, we should look at revisiting. Can we build? I mean, that's what the Spark Sites group is. That's what this is, going out to the Spark Sites group, the Goals of
Right.
Gratitude group. But what other way? We don't have to answer here, but we do need to explore other ways to build strong communities,
Yeah.
because I think the Thousand True Fans is a concept that came out, I want to say the late 20 aughts, where you don't need a million followers. You need less than, not up to. You don't need 1,000. You need less than 1,000 true fans of who you are and what you do. And you'll make 1%, you'll be in the 1% of earnings in the world.
Mhm.
Hopefully, you're building it around something you love, and hopefully, you're building it around the bandwidth that
Yeah.
you have to do the other things that you really
Mhm.
want to do. Well, we're wrapping up. Amber, give me some shout outs. If you had a shout out to anyone or anything in the world as we wrap up, what's your shout out? Gratitude or
Ooh.
calling somebody out?
I wanna shout out some of our clients for their amazing, communication this week. Just
Yes.
just getting back to us and being lovely humans. Maddie and Christy at, Rooted in Wellness, they have
Mm,
been just I'm their super fan. I will fangirl them all day. I'll hold up
yeah.
signs for them. Just they're amazing, and they have just been so communicative with us. Their project is going so well, and yeah, I'm really
Mm,
excited about continuing to work with them. So,
yeah.
just a lot of
I,
great people.
yeah. I'm going to shout, well, partly it's you, but I'm going to shout out probably our last handful of clients. They've been in this niche that we like and we articulated.
Yeah.
Power boss women, and we should just call them bosses, but
Yes.
females with good feminine energy, but strong energy, clear communicators, like you're saying about Maddie and Christy, but like
Yeah.
Nicole Bradham,
Oh, love it.
Kara Dennison, who's been a client a while, but this latest round of interactions, this latest round of
Mhm.
designs, I won't say it's been easy. I'd say it's been pleasurable.
Yes. It almost doesn't feel like work because just working with I'm like, "This is not my job. This is just
Yeah.
I'm having fun," you know?
Yeah.
So and just knowing that we're helping move their vision forward, that feels
Yes.
really that always feels so good when we're like, "We know
Yes.
we nailed it," and we've just cultivated some really good relationships recently where I know we're making a big difference, and
Yes.
it feels good to be appreciated also. You know, these people appreciate our values and our input and our
Yeah.
expertise, and that feels great.
Yeah.
So,
I
you
appreciate
know,
that. That's huge.
yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for showing up for office hours. We're going to be doing this again. And keep in mind, like Jessica and Billy, you can come on the show. I will post the link for you to come in just like
Mhm.
Amber did, and actually pose your question live with us. Come on the show, but it's not really a show, it's office hours. So we're going to be doing this again. And apparently, we're going to be talking about SEO and how it
Yes.
ties to marketing, but we'll let that bleed into anything going on with your business because our mission is to ignite lives of explosive significance. We do that by helping you with your web presence so you can reach your mission. But we obviously will want to serve every aspect of your mission. So thank you everyone for stopping by. We'll see you soon. We'll watch in this Facebook Goals and Gratitude group and your email for announcements on the next Spark office hours. Thanks so much.